I don't know about y'all, but I'm getting a little fatigued about all of the DLC that's been coming out with The Sims 4 lately. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad that they're trying to make a big deal out of the 25th birthday of The Sims. I feel like I always have this mixed balanced view of DLC because on the one hand, I really like having a lot of new items, but you know, it does add up over time and costs a lot of money. Now, if you're going to be pushing out a lot of DLC, then at least they're kits, which are somewhat manageable for $5, but relative to the amount of stuff you get in them, it's kind of expensive given the price. But I'll leave it at that for right now. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. So we're going to look at the refined living room kit today. I know 2 kits came out with the business chic, but if you're new to my channel, I primarily build in The Sims, and so I don't really have a ton of experience using CAS. I don't feel like I could review those very well and have thoughtful commentary for those items other than, wow, that looks nice. Oh, I maybe don't like that so much. I don't know. I'm not the right person for those. So I'm only going to be focusing on the refined living room kit. And this was done by Pierre Sim. So this is one of those creator kits where Pierre Sim actually came up with the design concept, made everything in the kit, packaged it with a little bow on it, handed it over to EA for EA to make a lot of money off of. But it's essentially like a mix of retro, modern furniture. From the couple of pictures I've seen, it gives this mid-century vibe, and it's kind of got like this chic look to it. Oh, sorry, little freezer bunny. I feel like with the creator kits, they don't give us styled rooms, which is kind of unfortunate because I always like plopping down the rooms just to see what they combine it with, because it's always with like base game items. I always think that's a good way to gauge how you could make some of this stuff work well together. But we'll just get a nice room here. This is absurd, the amount of lights I'm putting in this room. So right off the bat, it looks like we have 24 items total, which is pretty typical for one of these kits. It's not a clutter kit, so with the clutter kits, we tend to get like around 30 or so. So don't be expecting like we did with the Comfy Gamer kit recently that we're gonna get that many objects. These are more like furniture pieces. Right off the bat, we get a one-piece armchair. I love the modular look to that, even though it's not, I guess, technically modular, but it's kind of got a nice style. And one thing, just like Cozy Kitsch with these CC creators, they're giving us a full like ensemble, a full set of furniture, and I really appreciate that. And we even get like this chair that goes with it. So I'm gonna plop these down real quick and look at these. So we get like a couple of blue swatches, we get a black, we get a green, a red, and then some browns and neutral colors with the grays. I really enjoy that we have a couple of different shades of red. We get this really dark and then the lighter. This makes me think of the paranormal stuff pack that we have similar shades of red. I'll get that out here in a second and we'll compare at the end with some of the packs that I think could work well together. But we get the same kind of swatches. We have 12 on this, 12 on this. They're in a different order, so I don't think they're all the same colors. We get a lot of neutrals, a lot of different shades of like browns, and then we get our blacks and our white cream colors, but we get this nice yellow color, which we don't get in the sofa and the armchairs. So that's kind of interesting. So you could use that as like an accent color if you wanted to bring the darker blues in or something like that. 12 swatches on all of these, but they're not matching exactly. The chair gets an extra little yellow pop, which is kind of fun. I think this is a really nice way to combine some different colors. If you're new to my channel, I have a whole playlist on color theory and videos on how to design and style. So put a little shameless plug here if you want to check that out. I'll link that down in the description below. But I'm really happy that we get a lot of neutral tones, and I think this style of furniture, it has a modern look to it, but it also has, like I said at the beginning, it has a mid-century and almost a retro feel as well. So it could work with a lot of different styles. I feel like this would look really good with boho furniture as well. I love how even in a 3-pieces sofa, it says, do you remember when you bought the first 2 pieces? Now your family's expanding and you need the 3rd seat. Unfortunately, there's no need to buy a new sofa. Thanks to its discrete attachment system and a few extra simoleons, you can add as many seats as you want. And then we have the old card sideboard. So found in a dusty old attic, this old sideboard has kept secrets of several generations thanks to its generous dimensions and robust hinges. It's ready to carry your secrets for decades too. This is a really cute little accent table, and I like the detail with the paneling. Again, kind of it's screaming mid-century to me. I get mid-century vibes from this. I don't know if it's technically classified as that. I'm curious to see in the styles. In case you didn't know, we do get like a style filter. I feel like a lot of people don't realize this or use it. It's not perfect, but you know, it helps you if you're going for a vibe. And no, it is not classified as mid-century. Is it classified as modern? And of course it's not in alphabetical order because that would make a lot of sense. Yeah, it's classified as modern. I don't know, like it definitely has modern elements, but I don't know if I would look at this and be like, oh yeah, that's really modern furniture. Again, we get 12 swatches. We get this red swatch, we get a blue swatch, and then a ton of brown colors. So this is really awesome, especially if you're very, you know, type A about your wood tones matching. So this is a really good set, I can already tell, for matching these brown tones because we get a ton of them, let me tell you. And then we have these side tables. I really enjoy side tables like this because they're smaller and can fit into tighter spaces. A lot of the side tables in The Sims tend to be really large and they don't fit as easily, and I always have to size them down because they're usually a lot taller than like the bed or the sofa. So this is a good height, and it actually makes me think of the Desert Luxe kit. So we'll pull that out at the end too, just to compare, but you get a lot of these like sandy tones. They're all neutrals. We don't get any like colorful swatches, which is fine. Not a big deal. I would have liked to have at least one or two that had a color to it. But again, you can mix and match this a lot with neutral tones. So I appreciate having more versatile furniture in the game because I feel like we don't get usually more than like 2 or 3 brown colors if we have multiple brown colors in the Sims from EA whenever they create these packs. And then this is the laying rock. So this is like a stone coffee table. It's made of the best rock directly from Tartosa. So that's kind of cool. It has that storyline to it. So a little bit of a plug for, you know, my wedding stories, mentioning Tartosa. So this also comes in 12 swatches, and it looks like they're the exact same 12 as the end table, which makes a lot of sense to have those match. So I appreciate having the attention to detail on matching these pieces of furniture, and I really like the look of this. It almost has a wood look to it, even though it's stone. But this is really pretty. Now this, I would say, is modern. For sure. This, I'm gonna argue that's more mid-century modern looking, but it is what it is. So we have this pedestal from the old times. This old pedestal is perfect for showing off your fancy decor items. I like having something like this, and we have something like this in the base game already, but this one is a little bit more modern. The other one's a little more ornate and has like curves at the top, more, you know, curvy pieces and ornamentation to it. So this is the same as the accent table right here. So we get the same swatches. You can easily match with that if you wanted to. So that's kind of a nice little detail to have that be the same swatches with the table. And then we get a plant. And if you're new to my channel, you know how much I love plants and plant clutter. We put them everywhere. So I always love getting more plants. And this is a really small detail, but I can already tell I love the layout of this plant because you don't get very much clipping with it. The leaves are kind of facing more out. Sometimes we get plants in The Sims where even though they're facing forward, a lot of the leaves clip into the wall, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So I appreciate whenever they arrange these to go not into the wall. And then with this, we get 12 swatches as well. Blue, red, again, a lot of the neutral colors, which I think was just the vibe for this like refined living space. The word refined is just kind of more neutrals, modern tones in a way. So I can see what they were going for with that. I, again, wish we had just a few more colors. It does look like this is more of a unique color swatch. I'm not seeing one that matches it exactly based on all the others we have so far. So this is also 12 swatches. So literally everything we have looked at has had 12 swatches in this kit. And then we get wall decor. And I am always for getting more paintings, especially like this, whenever we get like a set potentially. Yep. They're like the other square ones that we have where you can make them like a set. I love this. I love these colors. I always love the blue with this corally color to it. I love that color combination there. And then just a lot of the neutrals. We get like a bluish gray, more like a grayish blue, I guess, color with a faint green. That would look really good with eco lifestyle, dream home decorator kind of vibes is what I'm getting from that. So really pretty. And then of course these two swatches are just for like more of the neutral tones if we wanted to get those in a little bit more. And those are very versatile, so you can use this with literally anything and it would look good. I will say the only thing I don't like about the swatches is that we get different colors for the frame depending on the design that we choose. And so if I wanted to use this, but I have brown tones everywhere, I don't really want the blackish frame to go with that. So that's my only kind of nitpicky thing if I were to choose something. I like the ones that have several more swatches where you can get the same design but with different color frames. I can see myself using these a lot in my builds. You could even size them down, make like a whole little cute gallery space. I'd probably use my tool mod to make this one a little bit bigger, but you could do some really fun stuff with them, I guess is all I'm trying to say. So next we have the duo. Just like the macaroni and cheese, those two pieces are made to be together. That's kind of a funny description here. If you don't read the descriptions, I highly encourage you to, because some of them are pretty good, and you get a good idea for, you know, what the intention was behind the object. So I always like to shout out some of those whenever I'm reviewing these kits. But ooh, I love that. I will say that's a little random of a color swatch given the colors we've seen of everything else, but I love this purple color. We get green, blue, we get some like red and brown, blue and brown, green and brown, and then a lot of neutral colors. And then off the grid calculator. This old abacus is the ancestor of our calculator. It may not be very useful nowadays, but it's a nice piece to have as a decor item. We get this. Oh, this is the same as the plant, isn't it? No, it's not. What am I thinking of? Some of these combination of swatches are very unique to the items, which is kind of cool to see. So we get a light green and then a dark green. So we have two greens on this, which is nice. We get those two red colors, we get the blue, and then we get a lot of neutral colors. So that's cool. I think that's the first object with two green swatches. Y'all know how I am about my green swatches in The Sims. Next we have Shelly the bowl. I am super happy we have another bowl. I have used that cereal bowl. You'll know what I'm talking about. I'll show y'all later. But I've been using that so much, and I am happy to have another bowl object to use. Okay, so is this the same swatch palette as the chair? And it isn't. Like I said, so there are some really unique color combinations for these objects. This is orange. I don't think we have orange with anything else. That's like a red color. So we get an orange, we get the yellow, we get two reds, a blue. We get this like light blue, and then we get two greens as well. This is more of like a teal-ish color, I think, than the neutrals. So really unique color combinations with the swatches. Y'all know whenever I review things, I pay a lot of attention to the swatches, so this is not like something I've reviewed recently that I can think of anyway. It seems like each object almost has its own unique whole batch of colors, so that's kind of cool. I love this red. That's really pretty. And then we have this. It is called Perfect Stacking Masterpiece. This abstract sculpture doesn't have a specific shape intended. It's made to let you imagine what you want. Apparently some people see a llama in it. It does look like a llama. It looks like a llama, especially this direction. It's kind of cool. It's like one of those art pieces where from different directions it looks like different things. That's kind of cool. I will say I actually don't like how this looks on top of the pedestal, like the base matching the exact size of the top of the pedestal. That looks a little odd to me. I would almost want to just like scale it down slightly like that. I feel like that looks a lot better. I don't know. That's just a me thing probably, but I don't like that it's the exact same size. And then we get like some more like eclectic colors with this. Tons of neutrals. We get the two blues, and we get different combinations with the base color too. So that's nice. I like the idea of that. But lots of neutral colors, so this whole pack just has a ton of neutrals. That's what makes it very versatile though, and what makes it easy to use in combination with a lot of other packs. So I imagine this would be like a pretty good pro for this pack, and the fact that it can match so many other things. Then we have the ancient bust. So we do have a couple of pieces that are like this. So it's kind of cool to have one that's broken. So this is the first one that does not have 12 swatches. It only has 8. We get some grays, we get like this kind of brown red color, and then just more like blackish gray color. So all neutral colors for the most part. That kind of matches the pedestal a little bit. Pretty cool piece. We don't have something like that. I'd love to put this in bookcases. I think that would be really pretty. I'm gonna keep grabbing pedestals to put this stuff up on. Next is this vase. We have the perfectly preserved antique vase. Be careful of this decorative vase. It perfectly survived the last few centuries. It would be a shame for it to break now. So this one has 10 swatches. Lots of neutrals, gray tones. We get like a reddish swatch and a blue. I think that's a blue. It looks like a blue. Lots of different colors. This is like an ombre with a gray and a blue, which is cool. We have this nice little ombre effect there on that, so that's really pretty. And then we have Shadow of the Day, inspired by architectural shapes. This piece of art casts different shadows during the day, giving it a unique look every time you look at it. This is super cool to have a piece of art that like changes throughout the day based on the time. We have 12 for this. And we get that purple color in this that we got in the vases over here, so that's kind of cool. I think that's the only other object so far that's had a purple swatch. but we get our usual greens and blues that we've seen and the red as well. So really nice combo. We have like the same combination, like this black and red color that we get with the llama over here. So some kind of similar combinations of colors. And then we have the divider screen of elegance. Nothing's better than an elegant divider screen to add a little bit of privacy. I really like this. I'm a much bigger fan of the smaller panels. So the dividers we have in the game right now, a lot of them are 3 panels, but they're like really wide and bulky. And so this is kind of nice, and I feel like fits a little bit easier maybe in some corners with the way the panels are shaped. So the fact that they wing out like this at the ends, you could really put it in a nice tight corner space if you wanted to just kind of have a little added element of decor in a room without it taking up a lot of space and having to put it in the center somewhere. So I feel like this also goes up very easily up against walls. We get 12 with this too, reds, blues, we get all of the browns and the blacks, grays, whites. Very typical based on everything else that we've seen, the reds and blues with all the neutrals with this as well. So kind of cool. And it goes really well with this accent table, so that's really pretty. I almost kind of wish that they had matched the paneling in this, like added another layer to the rectangle here on the inside just to give it the same kind of look in the design as that. That would have been a nice touch. Then we have our rug here, contrasted rug. This rug is a unique piece hand woven by the best weaver of the market. Don't forget to mention it every time guest compliments it. So one thing that I'm noticing right off the bat is that it's got like this wavy look to it. And I think that is so true for hand woven rugs, that it's not just like a very straight line down the sides, right? It's got a little bit of like a rustic charm to it. So I love the way that they did that little design. It's very subtle but very effective. And then I think this is a really pretty rug to put in a lot of spaces. This actually makes me think of the Cozy Kitsch with the red and pink, but has like that checkered look to it. Get a nice blue and yellow, which is what I was doing over here with the furniture earlier. So you could like put this over here and make this that blue and have the yellow as an accent. That'd be really pretty. But lots of different browns and green tones all in this. We get some different patterns too. So I appreciate that we get different colors, different patterns, some like also just like plain swatches. It makes it a lot more versatile. In that sense, I know I've been using that word a lot, but I think that's kind of one of the words for this kit, is that it can work with a lot of things. Then we get this nice lamp. I love when we get floor lights like this. Floor lamps that have like the little bar off of it and the head. It's kind of cool looking. Honestly, I don't think we're gonna get much of anything that has the exact same swatches available. That's just really unique. I don't know. So we get a green. That's a really cool green. And we get the red, we get the brown, and then just a lot of the neutral colors. I think this is maybe a dark blue. That's a blue for sure. So we get like these nice metallic colors. Oh, that's like the bowl with this color right here. That's cool. Then we get Bragging's bookend. This original book rack can be placed on any surface. This is really unique. I'm so glad we're getting different types of book clutter. And something like this, I think, is what we need more of in The Sims, just where they're not just like the books in a row. No one has just books stacked like that with no bookends or something like that. It's not like they magically stay up all the time. So I really like having this holder for these, and they look so slick and slim, and we get some fun swatches of this. I like the combinations for this one with the reds, blues, greens, and we get like the browns and the neutral colors as well. So this is a fun idea, and they even have like different designs on the front book right here. So really nice little detail. And then we also have the collection. So we have a collection of books, which is another fun book clutter item to have. And they come in some more colorful swatches than the others that we've had, which is kind of nice to see as well. We get some like nice ombre look for some of these, like the blue to the green. That's really cool looking. This is kind of making me think of the Comfy Gamer books as well, a little bit with the, I guess the colors on the outside here, but look at how that matches right there. These two items right here match perfectly, and this comes in 12 swatches as well. And again, very unique color swatches for this item. And then last but not least, for the objects, we have this big bookcase. So I love whenever we get more bookcases, and especially when they're cheap like this. It's $500 for this big bookcase, which is not that bad. So you could put some really nice pieces in here to make this look well decorated. Like, look at this. That looks so pretty. So this comes in 12 swatches as well. So this is like what I would say is the kind of base swatch for a lot of the furniture. We get this with the panels over here as well. Same colors. Wanted to bring that in. We could match it. But red, blue, we get like a lot of the browns, a lot of the whites and grays. So really pretty combinations of colors here. Honestly, that kind of matches the vase ombre that we have over here too. So this is like all of the objects that we looked at, but then we have, I think, a wallpaper. Yeah, it's a Woody's wallpaper, and it's a paneling that is kind of like what we have from other packs, but I guess it's a little bit wider. So we get this also in 12 swatches. So I imagine it matches like all the wood colors that we've been seeing on these objects. Ooh, I will say I really like the grain, like the pattern with the wood, but also at the same time, I'm a little underwhelmed just because we have so many wood paneling swatches in this game that look quite similar. So we have the Book Nook kit, right? So that's like one of the wood paneling options we get. And then we also have the one from Eco Lifestyle right here. And so, I don't know, it doesn't seem like it's very unique in that regard. Again, I like that it's wider, so the one big pro for this that you might not think about are like doors. So when we have a wider door, like Life and Death, for instance, that's just one that's on my mind right now. The Life and Death doors are huge. So it is beneficial to have a wider paneling for the wider doors, because otherwise it looks a little weird to put it on, you know, this where it doesn't match up if you're kind of thinking of things like that, like I do whenever I'm building. So I like things to line up and look good whenever I have wallpapers with defined panels in them. So I do like that aspect of it, and I think it's truly unique for that because I don't think we have a lot of wide wood paneling. I will say that's one big pro of the wider one, but I don't think the style of it is truly that different from other things you get in other packs, so I wouldn't say that's like a selling point necessarily unless you're big into building. Now, one thing I mentioned earlier was the Desert Luxe kit, and so you can easily see right here that this kind of matches a similar style as Desert Luxe, and I really think these things could go well together. And even with some of the colors, look at that. That's like a perfect match, pretty much. You can get some pretty close color combinations. We get this color, which is kind of similar to that one. Like you could pair these together and that would be fine. This brings out the darker colors and this. So I think with the style of these two, it works really well. I think the style of these two packs can work well together. And then what I mentioned earlier is from the Dream Home Decorator, and this is the cereal bowl. So this is like one of the main bowls we have in the game, and it's been kind of annoying to use. I like to put like my phone and keys in this or like other clutter items, and it's elevated off the table. So it's always tricky to get it to look right in the bowl, but since this bowl sits on the table directly, it makes it a little bit easier to maybe put stuff in it and raise it. Now, I will say this comes in like more vibrant colors if you're going for that eclectic look, but this has a couple of pretty vibrant colors itself. So I think these could work really well together if you were looking to get some bowl clutter. But I'm just happy to have another option like this, generally speaking, because we've been needing other accent bowls for things like that. So one thing I mentioned earlier with Paranormal was the fact that we have like these two different reddish swatches over here. And this is also true for the Paranormal pack. And so we get a lot of different, like we have this kind of red color, we have that red color, we have this red color. And so you could probably do some pretty cool matchy stuff with this. Like this is pretty close to this. I would say this is maybe a little bit more purpley looking than this one, but it doesn't look that far off. And then maybe this color could tie in with this one a little bit more. I know like it looks a little off, but like these three pieces together, even with the yellow chair, kind of could be something in a room. With the right combination of furniture, you can make it work. It's like with this sofa we have here, we get the yellow and we get the same kind of more vibrant blue that you could bring in if you wanted to, or the more muted blue, because we have the muted blue and the leaves on the back right here. But we get this darker red and this lighter red color. So that's what I was thinking of initially with this, and how you can maybe match it with Paranormal a little bit, because we get these like color swatches and a lot of different furniture pieces from Paranormal. So I always like to try to think through different things whenever I'm looking through a pack on like especially what it could work well with. And I think Paranormal has a lot of red furniture, generally speaking, and you could do some really fun kind of quirky things with that. And then of course, like it comes with all of this yellow furniture as well. So if you wanted to tie some of the yellow pieces in, like that could work. Yeah, because like look at the curtains here. We have these, but then we also have these too. I don't know. I just like trying to think through some weird kind of combinations, but I think paranormal has like a cool kind of retro mid-century vibe to it. So I think you could do some really fun stuff with it. And ironically enough, with Casanova Cave that just came out, I think a lot of this furniture could work well together as well. Like look at this table with the bar. Like we get so many different colors, neutral colors that could work with this. So I think that this could work well. Look at this. The bookcases from that also have a similar vibe to them as this and would match the wood paneling very well. And you could slot these items into this just as easily if you wanted to. So I think it gives the same type of aesthetic and vibe that you're looking for with the modern look on things. And you still get like the blue color, the faint blue. You get a green as well. You could tie in that blue color pretty easily with some of this furniture. Even that dark blue with this kind of doesn't look that weird necessarily, but I am really glad we have like a lot more blue furniture pieces. You can make it work. You could make it work. And in addition to that, with this new chair that we got, you can also think of the Casanova Cave couch that we had, because this is also a leather armchair. So it's a vintage leather armchair. This is a leather sofa. I mean, they go well together. Look at that. Like, I don't know, color-wise, you could probably get some fairly close swatches with these reds. Like, you even get the same red in Paranormal as Casanova Cave, you know? Like, you can do so many different combinations. We have so much DLC that's out now. It's just like, the possibilities are endless with this stuff. Now the blues don't match quite so much, but this one's pretty close. Like it's a pretty close combination, but you could still do like that poppy yellow if you wanted to on this. But I just think it's really cool that we get some swatches. Look how closely these match. You'd think that those came together, you know? And I promise I'm not gonna go through every little possibility. I'm just going through things that initially came to mind. Now I know this is really small to think of with matching colors and such, but whenever we have Crystal Creations, we do get this purple a lot in Crystal Creations on all of the furniture pieces. It is a bit more vivid and vibrant than this, but could you imagine? Like, look how well that goes together. Like, I don't know. Having a lot more purple vibes. We need more like purple aesthetic furniture pieces and things of that nature. This was the only other thing that had the purple swatch. And then just thinking a lot more broadly with some of this stuff, Eco Lifestyle, and then we have Dream Home Decorator. With a lot of the furniture pieces in these, we get so many blues and greens with brown neutral tones. Like just pulling these randomly. Look at this. Look at the blues from this pack, but they have this blue as well, which is a lot more of a faint color. That goes really well with this if you wanted to incorporate that somehow. We have that blue. See how well the bowl, like we get those blue tones, we get the green. See, look at this blue. It's a little bit more of a powder blue on that one. We get the faint green colors. I've always said Eco Lifestyle, Dream Home Decorator go really well together, but the same kind of vibes with some of the accent pieces also work with these faint green colors that we get. Like the abacus right here. Look at that. If we pair these greens together, they work really well together. And like, Dream Home Decorator and Eco Lifestyle are chock full of all of these like faint greens and blue colors. Like it's just incredible how many combinations you could do with this already, just thinking through some of the things that come to mind initially when I'm going through this. And then believe it or not, Cottage Living, we also kind of get some of the similar color swatches with these greens and blues as well. So we get a ton of different blues. We get a dark blue, we get this blue, 3 different blue swatches. We have a couple of different green swatches. Oh, 4 blue swatches. Forgive me on that. But we get so many of these like fainter blues and greens. We get like this slight purple color, which would look really interesting to combine with like a little bit of a modern piece on here or something like that. I don't know. I know, I'm gonna stop. I promise I'm gonna stop. I just really enjoy trying to think through how these packs can work together, and there are so many possibilities. And I genuinely think that it's just because of how versatile the pieces are in this kit. We get so many neutral colors, even that like colored pieces, the greens and blues that are used are more neutral tone based. The only things that we get like a lot of vivid colors on are more of the decoration pieces and that accent chair that we have. everything else is more muted. So I think that you can use this in tandem with so many different things, and that's what makes it, I would say, worth your money more so than some of these other more niche packs. I'm happy I have it. And I think I'm going to be able to use this a lot in so many of my builds, especially if I wanted to do more modern builds. So I'm going to stop right here, and I would love to hear if you got this kit, if you like it, what you like about it, maybe what you don't like about it. And I did recently also review the Cozy Gamer, Secret Sanctuary, and the Casanova Cave kits. So I'll link that video down below for you to watch as well if you're interested. And if you'd like to catch my reviews in the future, feel free to subscribe down below. I'd love to have you join the community and also just join in the fun with our builds that we do here. And with that, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye. Y'all, I'm sorry if I went down the rabbit hole a little too much. I just get really excited with new content, and I always like to think about how I can use it in future builds. So I hope you enjoyed it.